everyone. Welcome to the Cārvāka podcast. This is your host Kushalmehra, and as always, to discuss cricket, I have with me Aadit Kapadia. Aadit, क्या हाल है? सदमे से बाहर आ गया कि नहीं तू इतनी
हाँ
खुशी
हाँ
खुशी
बिल्कुल मतलब नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू साउंड लाइक अ पंडित हमारे दर्शकों के लिए हमारे चाहकों के लिए हमें सदमे से बाहर आना ही पड़ा बट नो आई मीन it was मतलब okay for everyone who thinks that they saw a bad game imagine waking up on a working day at 3:30 in the morning and I woke up to watch the last 2 overs of India batting और उसके बाद मैंने पूरी इंग्लैंड की बैटिंग देखी I mean it was that bad I'm like why did I wake up like it was just it was very bad it was very bad
Okay, I don't know. Because I'm so sorry. I don't.
नहीं, मतलब that's the thing ना tragedy over times is a comedy essentially it becomes a farce so हम लोग the funny thing is we thought the ghost of last year's World Cup was behind us मतलब we did it better this time एक ओवर कम और 15 और मतलब you actually predicted this on your timeline didn't you कि England will be done in the 16th over or some shit like that
Yeah, exactly 16 ओवर बोले थे और 16 ओवर में खत्म हुई मगर मेरे लिए
Hmm.
पर्सनली सबसे बड़ी हाईलाइट ऑफ द डे थी वो जो स्पेस था मैं वो स्पेस का डिस्कशन का टॉपिक सुन के मैं
क्या
इतना
कौन
हंसा
सा
अरे देखो नहीं मालूम कम से कम एक
नहीं
टाइम पे ना वो स्पेस कम से कम 4 घंटा एक तो चला होगा उसको
हाँ
उसको उसको 16,000 लोग एक टाइम पे लाइव सुन रहे थे
what
मैं कभी
60
16,000 लोग
16,000
मतलब इट वाज एन outpouring of anger. Let me and guys, I'm not using Google Chrome today. I don't know why Google Chrome का जो नया 2 दिन पहला अपडेट आया it has stopped becoming compatible with StreamYard. So I'm
Hmm.
using Firefox. So Firefox में हमेशा ये स्यापा होने वाला है मगर you just have to live with it now.
Hmm.
ये देखना अभी uh, मैं कभी इतना मेरी लाइफ में हंसा नहीं हूँ मगर ये अभी ये देखा ओए सॉरी यहाँ पे आ गया मैंने क्या कर दिया ये मैंने गलत कर दिया अब सॉरी
हाँ
ये देख मेरे
नहीं
को
बट
आदत नहीं है ना इसकी इसकी आदत नहीं है ना मेरे को इसके लिए
हाँ
अभी रुक जा
नहीं नहीं
मेरे को
ठीक है
वहाँ
बट
कुछ और
while you're sharing this I will say this guys and we'll talk about the game in detail right but this is one of our weird things where we hate to be so मतलब I had predicted India will be in semi-finals Kushal was like कि semi-finals तक भी नहीं पहुंचेगा turns out it was probably better if India didn't make it to the semi-finals
ये
ये
देख
बेइज्जती से बच जाते यार
ये देख
oh
ये
god
देख जाटू गेट लड़ू टीम
I mean
ये इसमें इतनी फ्रस्ट्रेशन निकाली लोगों ने इतनी फ्रस्ट्रेशन निकाली लोगों ने मैंने कभी इतना हंसा नहीं मेरे को मालूम है इसके बारे में बताएगा और मेरा पापा सीधे मैसेज करता है, बोलता है, इधर जाके देख क्या चालू है मेरा बोला, रुक बाद में बात करता हूँ तेरे से मैं पहले ही जाके चेक करता हूँ इतनी हंसी आ रही थी इतनी हंसी आई मेरे
wow
को, मैं कभी हंसा नहीं अपनी लाइफ में
नहीं
इतना जितना
but वो चाहिए it was so bad that it was funny like to laugh at it right but you know the one thing Kushal I'm going to tell you when like हम लोग discuss तो करेंगे but if you get a chance last year का जो World Cup है ना 2021 का उसका अगर if you have that scorecard the India Pakistan scorecard right या squad you just put it up whenever you get a chance because मुझे compare करना है कि 2021 और 2022 में कौन था and I think we had virtually the same team
2021 India versus Pakistan
Pakistan in Dubai.
मैच स्कोर
Match scorecard. I want to see our squad, right? Like because हमारा जो तब का squad था उसमें से 80% लोग ये वर्ल्ड कप खेले थे. So you basically didn't learn
आई
anything.
एम पुटिंग इट अप हाँ आई एम पुटिंग इट अप नाउ मैं स्कोर कार्ड निकाल रहा हूँ
Yeah.
एक मिनट गिव मी 2 मिनट्स अच्छा एक अच्छा चीज होगी है मेरे को
But while you're doing this, I'll one thing I want to tell ask our
इट्स अप
viewers as
इट्स
well.
अप
It's up. Okay. Ask okay. If you can share it right now. So
ये है ना
basically, yes. So go to India. The you know what they say that the definition of stupidity is doing the same thing again and hoping for a different result, right? So let's see who played in that game. KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. Oh my goodness, 1, 2, and 3 again, right? Surya Kumar Yadav at 4, Rishabh Pant at 5, तब रविंद्र जडेजा नहीं था, इंस्टेड वी हैव अक्षर पटेल, देन वी हैव हार्दिक पांड्या, वी हैव भुवनेश्वर कुमार, वी हैव मोहम्मद शमी. मतलब बेसिकली आपका द ओनली डिफरेंस फ्रॉम दिस स्क्वाड इज लास्ट टाइम यू हैड वरुण चक्रवर्ती, इस बार यू हैड रविचंद्रन अश्विन, एंड जसप्रीत बुमराह की जगह यू हैव अर्शदीप सिंह. So, and both Ravindra Jadeja and Jasprit Bumrah were out of for injuries, right? तो वो तो मतलब आपको mandatory changes थे, and Varun Chakravarti had a horrendous World Cup, right? So उसकी जगह आप अश्विन को लेके आए, right? Now, what does this tell you? What does this tell you in a game that where Adil Rashid outbowls our spinners, or the fact that India essentially has learned nothing from the last World Cup? Rahul Dravid comes out and says KL Rahul is going to play the entire tournament. Even after we said that KL Rahul did not look the part, there was absolutely no change for the semi-final. We went with the same team. Chalo, let's, people think, कि, अच्छा, we topped Group 1, right? हमारा group हमने top किया. Let's actually go through it, right? Pakistan ke samne, you almost had lost the match. It took Virat Kohli to play the best T20 innings of all time for Indian cricket, right? Or
बेसिकली विराट ने वो मैच जिताया, इंडिया ने
हाँ,
नहीं जीता वो मैच.
exactly. If Hardik hadn't stuck around with Virat, and Hardik also didn't look as fluent as he did in the semi-final, but he looked decent enough to stick around with Virat. India match हार जाता, right? So you lose the match, you are number 3. We lost to South Africa. We barely, like, we ran Bangladesh very close, and there was a whole lot of controversy in that match or something. I don't think we did a podcast after that. I want to do a podcast where Bangladeshi fans, like, I want to talk about it later in the podcast. Bangladeshi fans ne to pata nahi kaun si conspiracy theories nikali thi. But in any ways, we did not have a great World Cup. Yes, we topped Group 1. Yes, we made it to the semi-final. But we kept saying that. Like, I was predicting India semi-final jitega because we have a good enough squad to make it there. But Virat and Surya Kumar Yadav essentially ensured that we would. But we didn't learn. We didn't make the changes that were needed. And boss, there was no bold decision making. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, you lost the match in the first 5 overs of your batting and their batting. Like, I don't know, didn't KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma come out and think, bhai, we don't want to be 30 for 1 in 5 overs or 35 for 1. We want to be like, try and see if we can become 50 for 2 or something like that in 5 overs and see if we can capitalize it. Boss, this is a semi-final. If you're losing, you're going home. यहाँ आप लोग net run rate के लिए नहीं खेल रहे हो. Like, it was annoying to see, like, they were not even trying something. And I don't understand what is up with KL Rahul and never being dropped. Like, I understand he's the vice captain, but he can be dropped if he's not doing well. And he did not look fluent at all, except for that one innings against Bangladesh. And if you look at it, in a high pressure tournament like this, in 6 matches, if your star opener gives you one decent innings, that's not really a good thing. And he was not like he was giving 30 of 10 or 25 of 9 or something like that. In that, he cannot play the swinging ball. The minute the ball swings, problems shuru ho jate uske. And that is a big problem, I think, we're going to face. Abhi dekho, next year the World Cup is in India, right? 2023. तो उसमें he's सब झंडे गाड़ के आएंगे, because they're like, oh yeah, the wickets are going to be a little flatter and stuff. But everywhere else we go, this is going to be a perennial problem. He just cannot do it.
क्या बट क्या करें, उसका इलाज क्या है?
There are 2 ways, right? Either Rohit, we can play only one of Rohit or Rahul. We can't play them both. That's the bottom line, right? Test matches में खेल सकते हो, in maybe even in one-dayers, because they have time to play themselves in T20s. You cannot have Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul. So that is a discussion that the Indian team, and first of all, KL Rahul should not be the vice captain of the team. If there should be any other vice captain, it should be Hardik Pandya. So I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable what is going on. But let's talk a little bit about what happened in the match, right? I'll give a quick sort of summary of what had happened.
हाँ, तू समरी दे मेरे को. अभी मैंने नोटिस किया, साला मेरा नाम कॉनराड एल्स क्यों है स्क्रीन पे? एंड दिस इज अ कंप्लीट डिजास्टर. मैं एग्जिट करके आता हूं, तू बोलते जा. ठीक है?
Kushal is so enraged. He has changed his own name on the podcast. But
like, what the hell? अरे क्या हुआ है? Because I changed from the Chrome to the Firefox ना, it's a disaster, man. I did not
No,
even
no, no,
notice.
no, no
Dude,
worries. No, but let me give you guys, a lowdown of what happened, right? So we get to the match, and basically it's a T20 games are won and lost in 12 overs. What are those 12 overs? The first six power play of the batting side, and the first six power play of the opposition batting side, right? So the in the first 6 overs, you had India scoring at 6 7 runs an over, something like that. And see, if I can understand, if Virat Kohli has to be the guy to play himself in, Virat is, you can make that accommodation for Virat Kohli, but then someone had to be the dasher. And then you go to the first 6 overs of the England side where they scored 60 odd, right? So there, your best bowler was Arshdeep Singh. He bowls 1 over in that, right? And Bhuvneshwar Kumar did not look good at all in the first over. He gave up 12 runs. He should have been held back, and Arshdeep and Shami should have bowled 2 overs, and then maybe
no, no,
Hardik.
मैंने अर्शदीप को एक ओवर दे के बाद में लास्ट में रखा अर्शदीप को,
हाँ,
पागल
आई
हूँ
मीन,
कैसे?
सो ये मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना कि देयर वाज नो चेंज इन मेथोडोलॉजी. हम लोग ने ये किया है तो हम लोग यही करेंगे, राइट? सो it's been bad, and this year actually hasn't been a very good year for Rohit Sharma as a captain. I mean, whether it be for Team India or Mumbai Indians. And yes, there are people who are going to say that, Arey, we won bilateral series on boss. That means nothing. If you in your test as a captain is in ICC tournaments, right? In the high pressure situations, how do you do? And for all the jokes we made about Pakistan losing to Zimbabwe, and of course they got into the final because of a fate where South Africa lost to Netherlands, but they actually bucked it up against New Zealand in the semi-final. I did not think Pakistan could beat New Zealand, but boy, they proved me wrong.
So let's go through this thread by North Stand Gang Wankhede. So the biggest truth is we have been playing T20 cricket with a template as good as ODI
Yes.
template from 90s. Honestly, we need to do an immense deep dive into the game methodology of how we need to access our T20 game. To start with, we need to access the right players who can come up. अच्छा thread था. That's why I
Hmm,
bookmarked it. To be very
hmm,
honest,
hmm,
और कोई reason
hmm,
नहीं था.
hmm,
Mm, who can come with their freedom of expression. With youngsters like Shaw, Kishan, Samson, it's difficult to phantom the fact that we yet open with Rohit and KL in a format which requires a power play explosion to get it going. To be
hmm.
bare honest, scoring 38 runs in the power play in a T20 in 2022. By the way, ये तेरा exact यही point था, Adit,
Yeah,
is even worse than scoring 60 runs in the initial 15 overs of an ODI from the 90s. What
yeah,
happens then is scoring 100 plus in the last 10 overs brings you to a subpar score, which truly isn't enough. Securing 60 runs in the initial 10 overs and believing in the magic of Kohli, Sky, and Hardik to take us to 160, 170 doesn't guarantee you a favorable result each and every time. It's going to backfire. When Rohit and team management had made a statement of changing the way we see the power play post the 2021 World Cup, was it only meant for the so called bilateral series with the
see
champions?
again what I just said. I swear to God, I had not read this thread.
Yeah.
But
So
सबका गुस्सा एक ही है. Yeah,
so these recommendations, it's a very good thread. इसके लिए मैंने bookmark किया और कोई reason नहीं. It was an
yeah, no.
excellent thread. ये लोग ने किया. We need to identify which players can bring the X factor with them to us in the T20. Um, we have a Prithvi Shaw who can change the game. So ये एक है. Shaw, Kishan, Pant should be the ones who should come in as soon as possible to change the dynamics of how we need to play. We can't have a top three with an average strike rate of
Exactly.
100 to
That's what I've been saying.
120. ये तूने वर्ल्ड कप के पहले बोला था, बाय द वे.
हाँ
वर्ल्ड
कि
कप के
टॉप
पहले बोला था.
वर्ल्ड कप के पहले हमारा प्रीव्यू देखो. आई केप्ट सेइंग द टॉप 3 between 110 120 130 will not win you the World Cup, and they
Yeah.
haven't. Simple.
We need to build our middle order with Sky, Hardik, and a couple of young match winners. The thing with Kohli is he has his game set versus pacers early on, but struggles big time in trying to accelerate versus spin. One of the biggest ironies yesterday was our team selection. Butler was spot on in his pitch assessment. Rohit got it all wrong. He could not play a wrist spinner in Adelaide. Indian fans across the globe and from any planet knew Chahal had to play yesterday versus the Poms. If Ashwin came into bat ahead of Akshar, do we have any point in playing him in place of Chahal? To be very honest, Ashwin needs to concentrate on his test bowling now. So it's a long thread, but I think it was a very good thread, and these guys had a very good point.
No, yeah, absolutely. So I mean, with Ashwin, right? I've always said that he's your match winner, right? But the problem with Ashwin has been he's just not looked his part that he did at the IPL and stuff. And if he's unable to get going in the T20 format, I am absolutely okay with the Indian team benching him in T20, telling him to focus on maybe test matches and ODIs or something. Because in the next World Cup in India, you're going to have two spinners, right? And it happens in 1 year. So if in that Ashwin has a chance to play and Chahal, but Chahal has to play. I mean, I don't understand this. Either Kuldeep or Chahal has to play. And when it comes to Prithvi Shaw, right? Let's look at the dumbness of how he handled Prithvi Shaw. हम लोग ने पृथ्वी शॉ को एडिलेड में डे नाइट टेस्ट मैच खिलाया where that guy couldn't figure out against a moving
Poor
ball.
kid was pummeled.
Yeah, and we don't pick him from the squad for T20 World Cup. I don't understand this logic. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why are some players not like KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, or Rohit Sharma. Mein KL Rahul mein aisa kya hai that he cannot be dropped from the top three squads, right? Matlab, I don't understand. Is this some sort of an ego issue within the team or something? Because the way I look at it, I don't think in 2 years from now, in 2024, when the World Cup is happening in West Indies and United States, I don't think Rohit or KL Rahul can play. It has to
Oh
be.
hell
It has
yeah.
yeah, and I don't know if Virat is going to be like Virat's going to be 36 or something by the time that World Cup
Look,
is, right?
I
So,
still believe. Let's be. This is my opinion, and people can disagree with me. Be very honest. I understand ODI cricket and Test cricket. I don't understand T20 cricket, but I still believe you should have one batsman who can handle pressure, and that was shown by Virat in the Pakistan game. Look, you cannot fault Virat for playing badly. He played very well in the World Cup. He ended up
I
being the
don't.
highest run taker.
No, no, no. I'm saying just in terms of age, if Virat wants to prolong his Test match career, he more likely than not will take a break from T20. I thought if India would have won this World Cup, Virat probably would have retired from T20 cricket, international cricket, at the
I
end of
think
this
Virat
World
will
Cup.
play the World Cup in America and West Indies. I
Hmm.
think he will. I
Yes,
think
with Virat
honestly,
Kohli,
you need
yeah.
someone
Sorry,
with
sorry.
Rohit. Yeah, Rohit used to be a dasher. I don't know what happened to Rohit Sharma.
Nahin, I'm telling you. So all these people stopped becoming dashers because they started playing that long form opener in the IPL. So Rohit, KL Rahul were always like when he was in Punjab, Mayank Agarwal was the dasher there. When Rohit was in Mumbai, Quinton de Kock was a dasher. Now in Lucknow Super Giants, Quinton de Kock is a dasher, and KL Rahul is again 130, 140 strike rate. Or मैं पिछले 5 over में I'll make up. And Simon Dool, I think this is 2, 3 years ago in IPL, had this wonderful point that I don't buy this nonsense that you will make up for 16 of 20 balls in the last 5 overs. You can't, because you've actually wasted like 8 or 10 balls, just getting your eye in and stuff. So it doesn't work, right? And this is why in the Indian team in 2011 won the World Cup, or in 2003 got very close to winning the World Cup, because you had a set opening pair. You had a dasher in Virender Sehwag, and you had the great Sachin Tendulkar. We tinkered with it once in 2007, and guess what? We crashed out of the opening stages of the World Cup.
Mm.
So, I mean, you have a template in front of you, right? When Sachin and Ganguly were playing, right? I mean, the opening combination worked because Sachin was the dasher in Sachin and Ganguly, but Sachin was so phenomenally good. Even as a dasher, he was getting more runs than most dashers did at that time.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And
so
by
when
the
people
way,
say,
मैं तेरे
sorry,
से एक और चीज पूछने वाला हूँ, वो लास्ट लेटर सेगमेंट में है, बट जस्ट तेरे को
आज तो
बोल रहा
मतलब
हूँ।
बहुत गुस्सा अंदर से बाहर आने वाला
नहीं नहीं, गुस्सा
है.
गुस्सा गुस्सा तो है यार, मगर मेरे को एक और पॉइंट क्या लग रहा है मालूम है? हम लोग पागल लोग हैं। हम लोग इसकी ओवर करेक्शन का ही 50 ओवर क्रिकेट में ना कर दें, और ये तीनों को 50 ओवर से ना निकाल दें, क्योंकि 50 ओवर में 20 ओवर का काम नहीं करना है, उसमें थोड़ा टाइम चाहिए।
नहीं, पर 50 ओवर्स में शिखर धवन है ना.
हाँ शिखर है, मगर केएल हटेगा, मगर रोहित को वहां से ना निकाल दे, बेड बच जाएगी 50 ओवर में अगर रोहित को
नहीं
वहां
नहीं,
से निकाल दे।
रोहित शुड प्ले. So that's what I'm saying, कि in the time being you replace one of Rohit and Rahul and have one dasher at the top. And then, but the thing is, there is just like our lineup is fixed. It's Rohit, someone else, whoever you have to pick, Prithvi Shaw, Ishan Kishan, whoever, like Ishan Kishan ki 2021 mein uski cavalier approach ka I was critical, but at least he's a youngster who was trying to hit out of the thing, out of the slump. I didn't even see that with KL Rahul. It's been that bad, right? So there is whoever you pick at the second. I Like I said, Rishabh Pant ko ek try do, and I somehow feel bad for Dinesh Karthik. I don't know what was the purpose, like usko khilaya and then you drop him in the semi-final. It's kind of strange. Like, if
I
you had
don't
to
know.
pick
Nothing makes
Pant,
sense anymore.
yeah, if you had to pick Pant should have been number 2, not number 5 or 6. Like,
No,
he should have opened.
और मैं तेरे को एक बोलूं, हार्दिक बहुत अच्छा खेला, नो डाउट अबाउट इट, मगर वो 4 ओवर जो स्पिनर्स के 5 ओवर बहुत क्रूशियल थे, तेरे को मालूम है,
Hmm.
वी शुड हैव सेंट पंत इंस्टेड ऑफ हार्दिक. पंत वुड हैव टेकन द स्पिनर्स ऑन. वहां पे
Yes.
भी ऑनेस्टली बोलूं, बैड कैप्टनसी थी. हार्दिक वाज नॉट एबल टू स्कोर अगेंस्ट द स्पिनर्स. विराट टुकु टुकु खेल रहा था,
Huh.
मगर पंत आता था, वो डाउन द ट्रैक मार के छक्के मारता था, ही वुड हैव हिट द स्पिनर्स. हम लोग ने
Yes.
किया क्या मालूम है, बेसिकली हार्दिक पांड्या फ्रीक ऑफ नेचर के जैसे लास्ट 5 ओवर में फिर से वो मैजिक करके चले गया.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying Hardik ka wo game hai. I understand, but you cannot have everyone playing the same game, because you are not going to get 36 runs in every overs in the last 5 overs.
100% एग्री विथ यू, 100% एग्री विथ यू. और ये बेसिकली क्या हुआ मालूम है, हम लोगों को ये मैच, मानो या ना मानो, हमको हमारे पहले 10 ओवर ने मैच हरा दिया.
हाँ,
बॉस
नहीं,
मैं-
हमारे पहले 10 और उनके पहले 5 या पहले 6, where they were 63 for 0, then they need 100 of 16. I mean, there was this wonderful moment in the commentary where Harsha Bhogle and Sunil Gavaskar were commenting between overs 10 and 15, right? So Harsha Bhogle is, England have had the door open, and no, England are knocking on the door. Sunil Gavaskar is like, "Ha, ha, Harsha knocking, they've crashed it open and they're waiting outside to jump in." So, मतलब, sometimes I think Gavaskar, like, has reached a point where he's like, I am the fan, so I'm अगर मैं frustrated हूँ तो commentary, he was so uninterested in commenting in those 5 overs. He's like, ये कौन से segment में मुझे डाल दिया? And I
नहीं
mean,
dude, it is disgusting. और
yeah,
देखो,
he was all
इसे
of us. Like, I felt the same way. So I mean, I can't fault Sunny. I was the same. I
I
was the
feel
same.
bad for Team India. Look, I like.
Yeah.
Look, I to never thought they would make it to the semi-finals. Also, considering
Hmm.
I've always maintained this: India is playing all 3 formats the same way. See, I still understand the ODI Test match synergy. I
Hmm.
just don't see every time I watch T20. By the way, मैंने गलती से सेमीफाइनल देख लिया. मतलब इंडिया की बैटिंग पूरी देखी, और फर्स्ट 10 ओवर्स जब मैंने इंग्लैंड की धुलाई देखी, फिर मुझसे सहा नहीं गया, मैंने टीवी बंद कर दिया. मगर T20 में तो कोई भी सेंसिबिलिटी ओडीआईस की भी नहीं आ सकती है, जो
नहीं,
मैं
नहीं,
देख के समझ रहा हूँ.
नहीं.
तो हम, पहली बात, मैं आई डोंट ब्लेम राहुल द्रविड़ और एनीथिंग, मगर पॉइंट है, वी शुड हैव सेपरेट कोचेस लाइक इंग्लैंड डज. वी शुड हैव सेपरेट कैप्टन्स फॉर T20. ओडीआई एंड टेस्ट मैच कैप्टन सेम रखो, मगर T20 में अलग कैप्टन होना चाहिए. एंड वी शुड हैव अ कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट माइंडसेट फॉर
No,
T20.
and Kushal, I'm now starting to think that in test matches, see, not all good ODI and test match cricketers don't need to be the best coaches, right? And
Oh
similarly, bad
yes.
cricketers doesn't make them bad coaches. So I
Yes.
completely understand Rahul Dravid can be a great coach for ODIs and test matches. But if the template is unwilling to be changed for T20 cricket, right? I love what Rahul Dravid has done, got transparency into the team discussion. We know about what is happening. It's not like, captain is unilaterally deciding and stuff like that. They are facing the fire. No one's coming up with excuses and stuff. So, that has been a change, right? Uh, but if the approach is flawed from the top in T20 cricket, then that is what needs to be looked at. That, and if you need someone like a completely cavalier approach, right? A completely different coach for T20 tournaments or T20 bilaterals, so be it. Because really, like, we can't be faltering at world tournaments again and again and again. And let's look at
I
all
agree.
yeah, I mean, we crashed out of the group stage last time. 2016, we went to the semi-finals again and lost to West Indies. Again, a game we should have won. Technically, there was a World Cup happening in India. 2014, we lost the final, right? So it's the last few years have been terrible when it comes to this, and it's a lot of these players who are playing right now have also played in those games, so they know
We
what
need
it
one
means.
quick bowler, yaar. We don't have one super fast bowler.
we do
You
we
need
do
one
we just
one
don't, we refuse to play them. We do. Like, why don't you get an X factor like an Umran Malik? Yes, वो runs देगा, but at least
अरे रन देगा, विकेट लेगा, डराएगा ना
wicket
दूसरे को, और
लेगा. That's what
ऑस्ट्रेलिया
I'm
में तो
saying.
लेके जाना चाहिए था.
What purpose is it serve? Does it serve to have these abundance of riches? But if you are only I don't understand why they keep playing Bhuvneshwar Kumar. I mean, I love Bhuvi, but he's just not been good. He's just not been good. Arshdeep, see, Arshdeep is excellent. So Asia, he had a bad Asia Cup, but you stuck with him because he's a youngster with potential, and he
Arshdeep is
rewarded you.
brilliant. And Arshdeep, by the way, he's a future test match and ODI bowler, not just T20.
ओ मतलब मुझे तो वो जो इरफान पठान जब आया था तब वो जो दबा हुआ वो था ना, वो सब वापस आ गया. बिकॉज who doesn't love a left arm swing? I mean, I'm a huge Wasim Akram fan, right? I've said this left arm swing bowler swinging into the right hander. Who doesn't love that? It's
Brilliant
absolute,
stuff.
and not at Chamindawaz pace. I'm talking about real
Yeah.
pace. Before Sri Lankans jump on me.
85 miles an hour and above.
Exactly. मतलब Chamindawaz तो मतलब he would bowl in a left arm medium pacer. He was very good too, and he was unfortunately very good against India. But you know, Arshdeep is a lot faster than him, so he's more fun to watch.
Yeah. So yeah, अभी क्या करें? अभी जो अपना तो चल हो गया अभी. Let us focus now on the finals. Pakistan versus England. For the record, when we had done our first podcast for the T20 World Cup, I had predicted England will win the World Cup. But I did not know Pakistan will make the final. Now I will say in the final, brain says England should win. मगर एक sudden section मेरे दिमाग में कह रहा है पाकिस्तान लेके जा रहा है ये.
Wow. You think so? मुझे भी. So
Pakistan will win the World Cup.
maybe. So at the cost of sounding very dangerously, this is the run that Pakistan had is very similar to the run they had in the
1992 World Cup.
1992 World Cup, right?
मैं
So
देखो एक जोक बताऊं.
by the way,
वो जब-
before we get into Pakistan, I have to say, I have to do something. Kushal, मैं तुझे एक Twitter पे photo भेज रहा हूँ. Our good friend Mohal Joshi has sent me this picture. I have to give him a shout out, and I want you to share this picture with our viewers. Yeah, because ये KL Rahul का last few years में performance है, and this is not to pick on KL Rahul. He's a very good player and stuff, but this is how bad it is.
Okay, ये ना.
Huh. This is Kicking and Force picture. This is not my picture. Look at this. 3 of 8 against 2021 World Cup and 2022 World Cup. Phenomenal against Bangladesh, Zimbabwe, Afghanistan, Scotland, and Namibia. Terrible against New Zealand, South Africa, Netherlands, Pakistan. And look at those strike rates. Right? What is his best strike rate? Against Scotland, 50 of 19. Otherwise, 54 of 36, 51 of 35, 50 of 32. You know, and then Afghanistan, 69 of 48. Yeah. That's your problem right there.
And by the way, I hope these people don't go mental and change KL as a test match opener.
Yes,
गलती नहीं
he's
कर देना,
brilliant.
वहाँ पे बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है. कमीनो, उसको वहाँ नहीं चेंज कर देना, क्योंकि हम लोग का कोई भरोसा नहीं है. हम लोग यहाँ का फ्रस्ट्रेशन वहाँ निकाल देंगे.
हाँ मतलब हम लोग ने किया ना next tournament के लिए. We didn't change players, we changed the coach instead. Like VVS Lakshman is going to be our next T20 coach, and I'm like, wow. So they replaced Rahul Dravid with a better T20 player, VVS Lakshman.
I mean, मेरे को सबसे ज्यादा डर क्या लगता है मालूम है? हमारे केस में मेरे को सबसे ज्यादा डर क्या लगता है मालूम है? We are an over reactionary society, over emotional, over reactionary by nature. तो
Yeah.
हम basically what you have said and what that North Stand Wankhede handle had said is right. We just need a new approach to T20 cricket.
Yeah, exactly.
We were playing T20 cricket. इंग्लैंड का देख, लास्ट 15 साल उन्होंने व्हाइट बॉल को अपना प्रायोरिटी बनाया. दे फोकस्ड ऑन व्हाइट बॉल क्रिकेट.
Absolutely.
दे मेड इट देयर थिंग. एंड इसके लिए मैंने टूर्नामेंट के स्टार्ट में बोला था, क्योंकि मैं गेम नहीं देखता हूं, मगर मैं स्टैट्स तो देख रहा था ना, और स्टैटिस्टिकली इट वाज क्लियर इंग्लैंड अंडरस्टूड द T20 फॉर्मेट मच बेटर देन मोस्ट.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
मगर अच्छा एक और चीज मैं शेयर करना चाहता हूँ. मेरे को बहुत हंसी आई. तो मैंने ट्विटर पे 2-day पोल लगाया था, द मोस्ट अनसाइंटिफिक पोल. कोई साइंटिफिक पोल नहीं है, मगर ऐसे ही अपने फॉलोअर्स को पूछा कि भाई हु विल यू सपोर्ट इन द फाइनल. 2708 वोट आए. 83.5% से दे विल सपोर्ट इंग्लैंड, 16.5% से दे विल सपोर्ट पाकिस्तान. ये कौन है 16.5%? अगर तुम इंडियन हो तो देखो, अंग्रेजों ने हमारे ऊपर राज किया, मगर अभी अपना बंदा प्राइम मिनिस्टर है उधर. ज्यादा मत बोलो.
No, supporting is one thing, but I am with you, Kushal, on one thing. I do feel that Pakistan may actually pull this off because they have the
Yeah.
tools to pull it off, right? Um, but then England has this X factor, who is another big match player that has made a comeback for this World Cup, and I watch out for him in this final. Ben Stokes.
Yeah,
You,
he is a big match player.
I'm
Now,
telling you,
now you
Banda.
make me rethink my
There is
thoughts.
one man. If there is one man who is a big match
He can
player
take it
in,
away because he's a psycho. वो कुछ भी कर सकता है,
कुछ
बॉल से,
भी कर
बैट से,
सकता है.
फील्डिंग से.
Exactly. Matlab, he
He's a big
is
match
an
player,
absolutely
phenomenal
insane,
player.
yeah, phenomenal player, right? And Ben Stokes is, remember हम लोग जब colony cricket या great cricket खेलते हैं, right? You want that player who is good, but he's so good that he can trash talk the other team. Also, Ben Stokes is that. Like, not only is he good, he'll make you feel bad about feeling being bad, right? And he's not a bad guy in terms of that, but he's that good.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
Is that
agree.
good?
I
And
agree.
and so Josh Butler, and can we talk a little bit about Alex Hales? He was dropped. He was not even in the squad from the World Cup, and then he came back.
मैं तो उसके बारे में कुछ जानता ही नहीं हूँ. मैं उसकी बैटिंग देख के इतना फ्रस्ट्रेट हो रहा था. मैंने बोला ये आउट क्यों नहीं होता?
No, because the I mean the whole joke was there was no sky, there was hailstorm or something. That was, I thought that was a very lovely pun that someone gave.
बट
But
बट
Alex
यार
Hale,
अच्छा,
no, one second,
एक
Kushal,
मिनट.
before I have to
हाँ,
make
बोल
this
बोल
one
बोल.
quick point. So Alex Hale ran into some sort of an issue with Owen Morgan, right? Like, I think Morgan jab tak team mein tha, Hales kept wasn't picked in the squad, and very similar to what Kevin Peterson and Andrew Strauss went. I'm not saying the reasons were the same, but there was some sort of a, issues in the England dressing room, right? Or maybe post Strauss era में जो Kevin Peterson के साथ हुआ था वो. And as a result, he was not picked. But then Johnny Bairstow had this freak golf accident, and Alex Hills gets picked instead of Johnny Bairstow. And think about it. In England has an abundance as the openers, right? So Phil Salt comes in, who is also an opener, but he's told not to be an opener. So England has four world-class openers: Phil Salt, Johnny Bairstow, Josh Butler, and Alex Hales, all opening, and all can be
All are
dashers.
nationals.
All are
All are
dashers.
nationals.
Yes. And if you want to look at the other thing, guys, all those four are partnering with some 130 strike rate Indian players in IPL. Alex Hales was supposed to play for Gujarat Lions, Gujarat Titans. I'm sorry, मैं 2016 में चला गया when there was a Gujarat Lions, when Gujarat Titans. Josh Butler plays for Rajasthan Royals. Johnny Bairstow used to play for Sunrisers Hyderabad. And so that's what I'm saying. Phil Salt, I'm sure, is going to play the IPL as well. What I'm saying is England has changed the approach. There is a template that's out there how to play T20 cricket. And it doesn't matter if you are at a 150 pitch or a 200 pitch, there has to be one person who takes the risks. You can't have everyone playing safe, then you'll safely move out of the tournament.
बट
Sorry, you were
यार
saying
एक
something.
है, अगर ऑनेस्ट एनालिसिस करें तो पाकिस्तान का भी बैटिंग स्टाइल हमारे जैसा ही नहीं है. टको
Hmm?
टको खेलेगा और फिर
But
बाद
boss,
में मान
Pakistan has
जाएगा.
better bowling attack.
हम्म,
Pakistan has three fast bowlers that bowl at 140. And Shadab, who is in the form of his life.
हम्म.
So Pakistan. So I talked to a friend in Houston, right? And he was telling me a very interesting thing. Well, he's from Pakistan, and what he was saying was कि 150 जो है कि पाकिस्तान का जो स्कोर है यहाँ, he said कि 150 160 के ऊपर पाकिस्तान cannot chase, right? But Pakistan's problem is कि they cannot win batting first. उनको अगर फर्स्ट बैटिंग, दे नीड दैट टारगेट इन माइंड, राइट? रिजवान, बाबर, ऑल दैट, दे नीड दैट टारगेट इन माइंड. सो पाकिस्तान की गेम ही ये है, एंड नॉट जस्ट नाउ. पाकिस्तान की गेम सालों से ये है कि 200 250 व्हेन हैव यू सीन पाकिस्तान चेज डाउन 350? मतलब you have to count the number of, or 320, right? But when have you seen Pakistan score 120 and bowl out the opponents for 225? I get many times that has happened. So I think that's just their style. Their team is built around bowling, our team is built around batting. But right now it seems like अपनी तो batting ही नहीं चल रही थी. There were a few exceptional performances taking us over the line.
I think the X factor in this match is going to be Shaheen Shah Afridi, how he bowls,
Hmm.
and what Pakistan does again in the opening stand. What Rizwan,
Hmm.
Rizwan and Shaheen Shah Afridi. I think more than Babar Azam, I think Rizwan and Shaheen Shah Afridi.
Hmm.
And for England, you rightly said, I think two people, Ben Stokes and Joss Butler. Joss Butler is like a huge factor for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm, and Karan, what he does.
Sam
Sam
Curran, to
Karan.
bhai.
Sam Karan.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how badly did we miss Ravindra Jadeja? I can't even tell you.
Oh my goodness. How badly did we miss Bumrah, man? And
Bro,
now the Bumrah factor
mm.
is clear as daylight. Like Bumrah raises this team standard here. I mean,
And that's what I'm saying. If they're like, oh, Bumrah wicket nahi leta yahan, kaise lega bhai? You need someone to maintain the pressure. But the fact is, Bumrah at least gives you that time. हमेशा एक टीम में क्या होता है, देयर आर 8 overs of phenomenal bowling, right, that you see off, and the
yeah.
other 12 overs you are like, इस 8 ओवर में हमारे 30-40 से ज्यादा नहीं बनेंगे, so we will और या 50 बनेंगे, तो the other 150 or the other 120 will try to get it from the other 12. इंडिया में तो भाई ऐसे कोई 8 overs है ही नहीं इस बार, there are none. So I'm afraid there's going to be an end of the road for a lot of T20 players if India has to be competitive in the West Indies USA World Cup in
I
2024.
think we just need one change. Honestly, अगर तू मेरे को पूछेगा, we just need one change. I think KL needs to go out and he needs to be replaced by
No,
एक
Kushal, I think our
striker.
bowling lineup, I don't think Shami or Bhuvi
वो
are
तो
going to.
obviously no, भुवी
Ashwin.
निकलेगा तो बुमराह आएगा, अश्विन निकलेगा तो चहल आएगा
हाँ.
और वो सब
नहीं, but
ठीक है बट
Shami so ultimately squad में changes होगा, right? So I agree with you that the core 8-9 people will be the same, but the other 7 will have to be changed. नहीं squad में,
थ्री
because Chahal and them are already in the squad, so you'll need another spinner, right? So would it be Kuldeep Yadav making a comeback? We'll have to see that.
संजू
हाँ,
सैमसन
संजू
उसने
सैमसन,
क्या बुरा
yes.
किया है
Yeah, वो तो I don't think what
पृथ्वी
wrong
शॉ
has that poor guy done.
पृथ्वी शॉ
Prithvi Shaw, absolutely. Prithvi Shaw,
या
he should be given a shot.
भाई भाई किसी ने प्रश्न पूछा है पाकिस्तान वर्सेस इन इंडियन आफ्टर 30 years will the fire results also
And
repeat
not
भाई वो
just World Cup
goes off
final again, at the MCG again.
yes I'm being very honest I think Pakistan wins this World Cup and now we talk about Pakistanis being Pakistanis. So, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm seriously irritated. Like, boss, this is my message to the Pakistan Cricket Board. भाई औकात में रहो सीरियसली औकात में रहो मतलब तुमको मालूम है एशिया कप तुम्हारे वहां होने के चांसेस कितने कम है सो दिस इज व्हाट नॉनसेंस इज लाइक अबे चुप करो एड ब्लॉकर साला मैं नहीं निकालता T20 World Cup, Ramiz Raza's $1 billion industry team jibe at India after the semis debacle. भाई क्या जरूरत है तुमको करने की आई मीन हाउ डज दिस हेल्प आप देखिए वर्ल्ड क्रिकेट कितनी पीछे रह गया और पाकिस्तान कितना आगे निकल गया $1 billion इंडस्ट्री वाली टीम्स पीछे रह गई हैं और हम जो है ऊपर निकल गए हैं तो कोई चीज तो ठीक कर रहे हैं ना हम तो उसको भी आप एंजॉय करें और इस टीम पे हाथ हल्का रखें क्योंकि आप ये भी देखें एट द एंड ऑफ द डे ये हमारे हीरोज हैं आई मीन कम ऑन यार look you
अरे
don't have to jibe on India to make your point about your internal
नहीं,
politics
but see,
and Ramiz
unfortunately,
Raza तू कुछ भी कर ले इंडिया नहीं होने देगी एशिया कप पाकिस्तान में
the problem is not that. The problem is his inherent insecurity, right? कि Shahbaz Sharif tweets. Say, okay, so if India make it to the final, if India made it to the final, is Narendra Modi going to tweet about when India beat Pakistan in like last year or 2 years ago or something?
nobody
I mean,
cares it's the
so
mind
what
it's the
Shahbaz Sharif?
Pakistani mindset bro it's the
I mean,
Pakistani
that's what I'm
mindset that
saying, right?
country is obsessed
Huh, no, and then if you if you talk to people from Pakistan outside of Pakistan over here, they'll say ये क्या बकवास चल रहा है within Pakistan. They themselves get angry, right? Because होता क्या है कि the Pakistani media plays to the lowest common denominator there, right? Which is कि you go कुछ भी करो, you try to shit talk against India, right? In one. Now let me do. I mean, you talk about, see, T20 is a freak tournament. T20 is a freak tournament because anyone can beat on the top at any time of the day, which is why Pakistan, even after losing to Zimbabwe, was in the semi-final, because South Africa lost to Netherlands. Like, matlab, Ramiz Raja can say, what if South Africa had beaten Netherlands? It would have been South Africa, New Zealand in the semi-final. T20 is a game, is a tournament जहाँ कुछ भी कहीं पे भी हो सकता है, right? If Messi doesn't win a World Cup, अभी football का World Cup होने वाला है, right? And if Messi, does that make Messi like a shit player or something like that? No. It, you have to talk about the team, right? And it's not like Team India is like Team Pakistan is better than Team India. No, Team Pakistan was better in this tournament through a mixture of good playing, a little bit of luck, and some classy play in the semi-finals. So ye jo, see, for this attitude alone I want England to win.
No, not only that, for this attitude alone, I want the Asia Cup to be shifted out of Pakistan and
वो तो
Pakistan
आई
should
डोंट नो,
suffer.
वो तो आई डोंट नो क्या क्या होगा एशिया
Hey,
कप का.
come on, yaar. देख मैं तेरे को honest बोलूं, if BCCI wants it, it will get it.
No, no, no
Yeah.
doubt about that. But I'm hoping nothing is going to UAE, man. I'm tired of tournaments being decided on toss.
नहीं,
ये
यूएई में नहीं ना, एशिया कप को हम
एक
लोग
एक चीज
श्रीलंका में
मुझे पूछना
रखेंगे.
है कुशल, एंड दिस
क्यों, श्रीलंका भी तो पार्ट ऑफ एशिया है ना. श्रीलंका और बांग्लादेश में रखेंगे, पाकिस्तान में नहीं रखेंगे.
नहीं, सिंगापुर में रखेंगे. पता है पहले सिंगापुर में टूर्नामेंट्स होती थी बहुत
हाँ,
पहले, इन 1996.
अरे सिंगापुर छोड़, हांगकांग सुपर सिक्सर्स भूल गया तू.
हाँ भाई. एब्सोल्युटली. नो नो. सो हांगकांग में तो अभी डेंजरस है, लेकिन चाइना पता नहीं क्या होने
मगर
देगा.
बॉस, वाई एशिया कप है ना, why can't we keep it in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh? We should lift their spirits also. आधे मैच
And
उधर
then
खेलो,
we can,
आधे मैच इधर
no, no,
खेलो.
and then we can also figure out who Sri Lanka's captain is going to be.
और
Because
isn't Jay Shah in charge of the Asian Cricket Council also?
he is, of course, absolutely.
हाँ, तो बस रवि शास्त्री ने काम कर दिया हमारा.
No, so they pretend like BCCI is not talking to ACC, except the same guy is in charge of both BCCI and Asian Cricket Council. So I was like, I don't know what they're going to do. But
This is so,
no, no,
I mean, silly, man.
yeah, I don't know. But this T20 World Cup was also not without scandal. You had the very unfortunate scandal of the Sri Lankan captain.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
still
एक
in,
मिनट एक मिनट एक
yeah.
मिनट एक मिनट, मेरे को वीडियो प्ले
And
करना है वो.
the internet is
This was
so cruel.
disturbing.
No, and the internet is so cruel. They had a meme saying all the captains in Australia, and they had the picture of Babar, Joss Butler, and Dhanushka Gunatilaka as well. On three captains are still in Australia. I was like, wow, this is very macabre. But I mean, it's full support to the victim, and I hope the truth comes out. And
ये आवाज आ रही है?
no, I can't hear.
Okay, unfortunately, the stupid thing doesn't work. So basically, I will share the article then.
Hmm.
So article के हिसाब से मैं बताता हूँ what is the report. This is really disturbing, to be very
Shocking,
honest.
shocking.
Shocking, disturbing. I don't know what to call it. I mean, it is very embarrassing for world cricket. So this is Sarah McPhee, Sri Lankan cricketer accused of repeatedly choking women from Tinder. Sri
Yeah.
Lankan international cricket, Dhanushka Gunatilaka is accused of choking a Sydney woman during an alleged sexual assault after he met her on Tinder, leaving her, quote, fearing for her life and requiring a brain scan, documents released by the court reveal. The police facts in the case against the 31-year-old can be reported after lawyers representing 9 of the publisher and of this masthead, News Corp and ABC argued against suppression. The police then withdrew their suppression application in its entirety. Gunatilaka was arrested on Sunday morning at the Hyatt Regency Hotel on Sussex Street before the Sri Lankan team's departure. He was refused bail during a closed hearing. According to the police fact, Gunatilaka and the 29-year-old complainant from Rose Bay matched on Tinder. By the way, you know what is scary? As per the other video that I was trying to play, this is the
Hmm.
second time he's been accused.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah, that
Wow.
is the even more disgusting bit in this entire thing. So अगर तू बोरिया मुजुमदार का वो वीडियो जो रिपोर्टाज का है, अगर आप लोग जाके देखोगे, so
Yeah.
you'll find out that this bugger, I mean, look, he's accused, he's not guilty as of now. So that's how the law works. So you're innocent until proven guilty. But the point is, this is the second time the man has been
Absolutely
accused of
horrible.
the thing.
And,
I mean, I
and,
am just shocked. I am
and Kushal,
shocked, and I wanted to talk about it.
no, I'm glad we did, Kushal. And we talk about all the fun things with cricket and stuff. This
I
is
don't think so.
also
He's the. I don't think so. He's the captain. He's just a player. Shanaka
just a player.
captain.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Shanaka. Yeah. My apologies. I got that mixed up. But my point is, it is scary that I mean, support to the victim and what she went through. It's kind of shocking. I mean that they went on this, but really. Cricket world also needs to look itself in the mirror, like if these things are coming up, and even though he's not found, if the court of law gives him like a little bit of a rap, ICC should have a more severe punishment for this, because this is not okay, and
Yeah,
a
and he
precedent
was
needs to be set.
so as per the video shared by Boria Mujumdar, where his reporter from Rev Sports was saying he was I will repeat this. I'll hear it again.
Yeah. While Kushal is
Norwegian woman in 2019. Also, he was allegedly charged.
oof, so this is 3 years. See, this is what happens when you don't do
This
something.
is this is not
You
good. This is not good for the sport.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is in 2019. If this has happened and if nothing was done, then what the heck? Like, who is to be responsible? You talk to Sri Lankan cricket, ICC. This cannot go on. Maybe there needs to be a law or something written in the ICC. Like, they have a freaking for overrate, they have a penalty, right? You should have something like if there is someone who is accused of sexual assault, there should be a hearing where there is a committee that hears, listens to it, that listens to the victim, that listens to what her allegations were. And if the player is proven guilty, or there should be certain, he should be missing the game for a certain while. I mean, I'm in I mean, this is bad. This brings disrepute to the game, and this is probably, if not worse than what the sandpaper gate and stuff was. If Steven Smith and David Warner are missing a year of cricket of that,
Yeah.
there better be some damn strict action on this. Otherwise, I'd be
Yeah.
very angry.
This is disgusting. There is nothing else to say about this. And the man's been accused the second time. So it's
Hmm.
not like this has happened the first time. And look, we international cricket needs to stand up.
Yeah,
International
absolutely.
cricket needs to take this stuff seriously.
Hmm.
You cannot just keep on talking about things haphazardly. Anyways, reporting sexual assault is a very traumatic process for a woman.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we
And
have to be
especially
very
when
careful.
that the allegation is made against an international cricketer who has a media presence and all that, right? So that becomes all the more, you are also going to be screwed. I bet you the internet is so cruel, people were starting to look, yeah, what was the name of the woman who accused and shit like that, right? So
Yeah.
that reporters are going to get nosy and stuff, so it becomes even worse. So I'm glad
Yeah,
we
it
talked
was
about this.
very disturbing. It is very disturbing. I think the Sri Lankan cricket board should at least give this player a break for a while until his charges are dealt with and whatever happens.
Both, no doubt. I'm, but if proven guilty, he should miss the game for a long period of time, like, and
No,
do something.
I mean that's just the reality of life, and
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely,
disgusting to say the least. To say the
absolutely.
least, it is disgusting, and I don't know what kind of a system we have in place to deal with these things in international cricket. But I was like, when I read this, I was like, we need to talk about this and we need to discuss this now. Before we wrap it up, because we're going to keep
Acha,
today's.
by the way, before we wrap it up, someone sent me a very funny message on Twitter. I have to say this. He's like, "आप लोग ने ये बोला नहीं, but this is original Mr. Bean versus fake Mr. Bean now in the final." That's a good one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So before we go, मैं तो झूठ नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. मैं फाइनल नहीं देखने वाला हूँ. I could
Yeah.
care less about England versus Pakistan. मैं नहीं देखने वाला हूँ. So
I'll try and
before
watch,
we
but I have no motivation to wake up at 3 in the morning to watch Pakistan England. I'm just saying, but
मैं
I'll try and watch for our viewers, our listeners. We'll watch.
मैं हाइलाइट देख लूंगा. बस मैं इतना कर सकता हूँ. एंड टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, कल यूएफसी पेपर व्यू है. मुझे सुबह 8:30 बजे उठ के फाइट्स देखनी है. आई हैव टू फोकस ऑन माय फाइट्स. आई कुड केयर लेस अबाउट क्रिकेट राइट नाउ, बिकॉज मेरा क्या होता है, मैं 8:30 बजे शुरू करता हूँ. फाइट्स 3 घंटा चलती हैं. उसके बाद मैं प्रीलिम्स और फाइट पास प्रीलिम्स देखता हूँ. उसके बाद मैं सारे मीडिया इंटरव्यूज देखता हूँ. वो करते करते मेरा पूरा दिन 3 बजे तक वही चलता रहता है. मेरा पूरा फंडा, पूरा दिन वो चल जाता है मेरा 3-4 बजे. मैच 1:30 बजे चालू होने वाली है. मैं नहीं देखने वाला हूँ. मेरे को कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. मगर बिफोर वी रैप इट अप, any other thing that you think we need to talk about, या we missed or something, कि
No,
मतलब
I
अभी
mean,
ऋषि सुनक ही हमको बचा सकता है.
Netherlands beating South Africa. How phenomenal is that? Like, that is why this was a World Cup of the greats. The two teams in the World Cup are one who has lost to Ireland in the group stage and the other who has lost to Zimbabwe in the group stage. And look at all these: Namibia beating Sri Lanka, Scotland beating the West Indies, I mean, amazing, amazing. Ireland beating England, and I saw this brilliant, brilliant tweet response. Bravi Bopara of England had this very tweet saying, "Oh, England was so brilliant. You know, Pakistan is there. Otherwise, England is so good. We would have an unchallenged in this World Cup. We would have England one versus England two in the final." So Cricket Ireland responds to him saying, "Coughs loudly." Because Ireland was someone who keeps getting better of England. So those things, I felt bad for Afghanistan that both their games were rained off. Both were at the MCG. Unko mauka nahi milta to play at the MCG on such a global level. So maybe the ICC does need to take weather into
नहीं नहीं,
account.
कल वेदर का क्या है प्रेडिक्शन कल का मेलबर्न में?
I think it's not going to rain. I think the weather is very good tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. मैंने पहले देख रखा
बिल्कुल
था,
नहीं,
but I'll look it up.
संडे को रेन से रे, रेन्स
Oh,
की
there
प्रेडिक्शन
it
है.
is going to rain. Dear God. Because when I looked at before, oh my, it's going to rain from 6 p.m. That's when the final is. So
Awesome.
it could well happen that the final is reduced to 6 overs a side or 10 overs a side, or the final is rescheduled to Monday. See, this is the problem, right? Like, I love the fact that it's being played at the MCG, but if there's going to be weather in Melbourne, they have an indoor cricket stadium at the Telstra Dome. Why not have the matches there?
मंडे को भी बारिश है भाई,
हाँ, so करेंगे. I mean, they'll have to do something odd. And the thing is,
पूरा हफ्ता बारिश
अच्छा
है उधर.
Kushal, no, here is the thing. There is no rain in the morning in Melbourne. So from 10 to 6 p.m. there is no rain. So wouldn't the logical thing be, okay, सुबह 10 से 6 बारिश नहीं है, or we can think about rescheduling the match time or something like that. But no, we'll do this, and then again Monday in the in and this has happened multiple times in cricket before, where the weather has played a spoil sport. So cricket world needs to come up with something. या तो बारिश में खेलो, या have indoor stadiums, or have the flexibility that you'll change match schedules before 24 hours before looking at the weather forecast. You cannot People cannot be deprived of a good game of cricket just because you want it to be in certain prime times. It just that's I mean, can you imagine if India Pakistan was rained out? Like, what an epic game it was, right? So,
Yeah.
but if you ask me, like, South Africa, Netherlands beating South Africa was the biggest shock I think ever, and I felt really good for Netherlands cricket. I think this is a great sign for world cricket if they are doing this, and that just makes the next World Cup even more interesting and exciting. More teams will start. I think they're starting 20 teams from next World Cup, if I'm not mistaken. And if they are actually starting 20 teams, it's going to be excellent. It's going to be four groups of five, and then two teams will advance to quarterfinals and semifinals and so forth.
Honestly, for me, my two best memories from the World Cup, this World Cup, are, I agree with you, the associate जो teams होती हैं, minnows जिसको
Hmm,
बोलते हैं,
hmm,
them taking on the big teams and winning well. That was a heartening sign for world cricket, albeit at a T20 level.
hmm, hmm.
And honestly, मेरे लिए Virat and that innings
Oh,
against
yeah,
Pakistan, India
yeah.
winning or losing does not matter. The way Kohli played that innings, that will
Hmm,
be etched in my memory for a long time. The way he played,
hmm,
that batting performance was a great player at his absolute peak
hmm,
in terms of mental ability, ability to withstand pressure,
hmm,
ability to absorb all kinds of stress. I mean,
hmm.
that was just magical, if I
Magical.
was to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
So, to me, those are the everlasting memories that I'm going to have from the World Cup. And honestly, I mean, I don't know what kind of a third class schedule this is. I think in 2 days, India goes and plays New Zealand in a
With a
series, a
completely
final
different squad.
within a completely
with
different
with a
squad.
with a few other people here and
Yeah.
there and stuff like that. मैं
And
actually वही देख रहा था.
1 or 2 days after the World Cup, I think Australia starts playing.
Yeah. So November 18th. No, no. Australia to starts on November 16th. But Australia I can understand because the game is in Adelaide. So it's in
Hmm.
Australia, right? So Australia versus England, it starts in like 2 or 3 days in Adelaide. India starts playing later this week in New Zealand, where we go for like three T20s and three one dayers. So that's where we'll play essentially those games. And I mean, I'm just looking at India's series, right? India has some exciting cricket series coming, culminating with the Australian team coming to India for a 4 test match series.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Kushal, like I think, I mean, we need to we I mean, we are going to be really like talking about it. Like I don't know how kitni frequency pe hum log baat karenge, but we
We'll
definitely
try
would
to
be.
cover every test match. We'll try to
Yes,
cover every test
because
match.
every test match is going to be epic. So after that, India is going to the Republic of Bangladesh for test match. Oh, India! So yeah, I forgot this. India is actually playing test matches against Bangladesh finally in
Good,
Bangladesh in December.
good,
So
good.
we won't have to wait too long to see Test cricket. I think in a month it's coming up. But for the next 3 weeks, it's going to be three T20s and three ODIs in New Zealand and three T20s in Bangladesh. So it's going to be interesting. And Cheteshwar Pujara is back, in the Test match squad. And that was I don't know if we talked about it the last podcast or something like that, where we went over the squads, because they had announced the squads for the tournament, and they were three completely different looking squads and stuff. But if there is a sign of things to come, I hope that is, and then I hope we actually fix it.
Yeah, honestly. और अगर टुकु टुकु बैटिंग ही करनी है तो पुजारा से ही ओपनिंग करा दो T20 की.
अरे पुजारा तो मतलब इंग्लिश काउंटी में जो खेल रहा है, लाइक उसका, आई एक्चुअली T20 में नहीं, बट आई डोंट माइंड गिविंग पुजारा शॉट एट नंबर 3 इन वनडे क्रिकेट. आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई नॉट.
यार कोहली है ना.
नहीं तो नंबर 4 मतलब हाँ है, but I'm just saying I don't understand how he's going to be so different from like KL Rahul in the power play.
वनडे में तो मेरी टीम सिंपल है. शिखर और रोहित ओपन
Yeah,
करेंगे.
yeah.
कोहली वन डाउन.
I say it very facetiously. I don't think it's going to happen before people
फोर्थ
jump on
कौन
me.
होएगा ना वनडे
Sky,
में?
Surya
फोर्थ
Kumar Yadav,
श्रेयस
Sky,
अय्यर.
absolutely.
स्काई की श्रेयस अय्यर.
Sky.
स्काई 4 होएगा. चल ठीक है,
Shreyas
तेरा
Iyer,
4 भी हो गया.
unless he changes his stance against bouncers and short pitch bowling, he looks like Indian batsman in the 1990s.
चल
जो
तेरा 4 स्काई हो गया.
बहुत
ठीक है.
बढ़िया
अब ये
खेलते
बता
थे.
फाई कौन होगा. फाई
हाँ,
कौन होगा तेरा वनडे में? वनडे में फाई कौन होएगा तेरा?
ऋषभ पंत.
ऋषभ.
Yeah, yeah.
ऋषभ. ओके. 6 कौन? डीके.
Sorry, no. 6 Hardik.
6 हार्दिक. ठीक है.
Hmm. 7
6
Bapu.
अक्षर पटेल.
नहीं, Jadeja.
रविंद्र जडेजा. हाँ,
Original
रविंद्र
Bapu.
जडेजा.
If not,
हाँ.
new Bapu.
हाँ वही मतलब अक्षर भी बापू है. तो
हाँ,
ठीक है.
OG Bapu.
तो ओरिजिनल ओजी बापू. 7 जडेजा हो गया. मेरे हिसाब से मैं जडेजा को 6 करूंगा, मगर दैट्स ओके. मगर फिर 8 9 10 11 तेरा कौन होएगा?
4 bowlers में I would have 8 order, so they can decide on whoever is bowling. But Arshdeep, Bumrah, if Bumrah is playing or not, you would have then some young fast bowler, either Kuldeep Sen or Umran Malik or something, a genuine fast bowler, right? And if Bumrah is not, if Bumrah can't play and you have a genuine fast bowler, then you have Deepak Chahar at 8. So because I think he's a good bowler and he also gives you that little bit of hitting. And then your floater can be between
स्पिनर कौन होएगा तेरा 50 ओवर क्रिकेट में?
Yuzvendra Chahal, has to be.
चहल.
Either it has to be either Yuzvendra or Kuldeep Yadav, दोनों में से एक. And then if it's
अश्विन का भी हमको टेस्ट मैच करियर लंबा करना चाहिए.
yeah, matlab, if unless they are actually looking at Ashwin playing the 2023 World Cup, I don't mind. If that is the case, then Ashwin can be a 50 over spinner. I think Ashwin is a great 50 over spinner, but I would love seeing Ashwin as test matches. But Ashwin has one more year in 50 overs. I want to see Ashwin play at least 2 years of test matches. Uske liye, he cannot play more than 1 year of 50 overs, because I mean he's not like in the peak of his fitness, right? He does have some issues. He's a brilliant cricketer. He's a very thinking cricketer, but fielding man stuff, man. If his body keeps taking a toll, and I mean, I don't fault him from playing the IPL. Yeah, it's a good paycheck, and he is phenomenal in the IPL. So IPL to wo khelega.
Agreed.
So that would be my squad. But देखने वाली बात यह है कि जसप्रीत, what do we do with Jasprit Bumrah? Right? That's the $1,000,000 question. Every Indian doesn't want to answer that question, but it's high time we do. There has to be something. There has to be a conversation about Bumrah somewhere. Ki how do we deal with him?
बुमराह को T20 मत खिलाओ.
एग्जैक्टली, बट यू नो दैट्स अ वेरी टफ थिंग टू से ना, उसको उसको आप क्या बोलोगे, लाइक यू कांट प्ले इंटरनेशनल टी20, यू कांट
आईपीएल
प्ले
खेले,
आईपीएल।
आईपीएल खेले बस। और
या
T20 इंटरनेशनल नहीं खेले, सिंपल है। उसमें हमको टेस्ट मैच के लिए ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, वो क्या है उसमें।
एग्जैक्टली, सो आई डोंट नो हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू डू इट, बट कुछ ना कुछ करके we'll have to figure it out, because you know we can't just like it's taking a toll on his body and it's not good for Indian cricket. So
सो आई थिंक आई थिंक
क्या
वी
हुआ?
शुड एंड टुडेस पॉडकास्ट on this message. I think this is the perfect reply किसी ने मेरे को ट्विटर पे भेजा है। मेरे को इतनी हंसी आ रही है। तो बेसिकली आशुतोष की वो जो गिफ है ना,
कौन
बंद
सी?
करो बंद करो मुझे नहीं देखना। वो वाली कौन सी है आशुतोष की यार, वो बेसिकली किसी ने मेरे को अभी जवाब भेजा
हम्म,
कि बंद करो ये। मैं
ए-
मैं गुजारिश करता हूँ, मुझे उस सदमे के बारे में याद नहीं दिलाना है। सो इट्स ओके गाइस, हम लोग, वो याद नहीं आशुतोष टीवी पे रोया था।
हाँ मुझे, ओ या वो रोडीज वाला ना, आई थिंक।
रोडीज वाला नहीं रे, वो आशुतोष, अरे आप वाला आशुतोष।
अरे अरे, आप
जब
वाला, सॉरी सॉरी सॉरी, हाँ।
अ,
ऑन आज तक ही वाज क्राइंग, बंद करो प्लीज प्लीज करके, हाँ।
तो बेसिकली किसी ने बोला अभी ये पॉडकास्ट हम बंद कर देते हैं, क्योंकि लोगों को ऐसे इधर इधर दर्द हो रहा है फाइनल
हाँ नहीं,
सेमीफाइनल
हम
के
लोग को
बाद।
भी हो रहा था, इसीलिए हमने दर्द बांटने के लिए ये पॉडकास्ट किया, टू चैनलाइज आवर ओन एंगर।
यस, मतलब बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेशन थी। तो
यस।
we'll end today's discussion, guys. Once again, follow Adit on Twitter. You can also subscribe to the Mindmakers YouTube channel, and please subscribe to the Cārvāka podcast channel. Like this video, leave your comments, and please support me. अभी अभिजीत आ गया है लाइव चैट में। um, पता नहीं क्यों जब पॉडकास्ट एंड हो रही है, मगर अभिजीत की मत सुनो, मेरी सुनो। मुझे यूट्यूब पे सपोर्ट करो, मुझे पेट्रियन पे सपोर्ट करो, मुझे यूपीआई पे सपोर्ट करो, मेरी पॉडकास्ट मर्चेंडाइज खरीदो, और अभिजीत अय्यर मित्रा को दो चार गालियां दो मेरे बिहाफ पे। वील सी यू गाइस नेक्स्ट टाइम, अंटिल देन टेक केयर, बाय।